The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus told his disciples a parable. Can a blind person guide a blind person? Will not both fall into a pit? No disciple is superior to the teacher, but when fully trained, every disciple will be like his teacher. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own? How can you say to your brother, "Brother, let me remove that splinter in your eye," when you do not even notice the wooden beam in your own eye? You hypocrite, remove the wooden beam from your eye first. Then you will see clearly to remove the splinter in your brother's eye.
The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
It's a great little gospel passage we have for the celebration of our Mass today. To give a word of context about it, this gospel passage happens right towards the end of Jesus' Sermon on the Plain in Luke's Gospel. And what has gotten us to this point is Jesus has called his disciples to himself. He's chosen 12 to be his New Israel movement, and he has started giving them the charter of life, how they are supposed to live to bring God's love to life in the world, to bring God's blessing to all the nations. That's their mission, and that's our mission too. And here Jesus says at the conclusion of his sermon, basically, we have to keep our eyes fixed on him. We have to keep our hearts and our minds trained on Jesus in order to live this way that he is pioneering for us. And that way it's nothing other than the way of self-gift. It's the way of love. It's loving God with our whole heart, mind, soul, and strength, and loving our neighbor as ourselves. That's the way that Jesus is going. That's the way of our whole faith, of the entire Catholic Christian religion. It's to follow Jesus in the way of love. And we know that we can do it because Jesus has done it. And every time we turn to Jesus in prayer, he gives us the strength of his own life of love to be at work in us and working through us in order to accomplish his objectives. But those objectives, my friends, are nothing other than love. And we ought not let anyone at all lead us astray. Our whole life is to be prayer and love. Our whole life is to be worship of the true and living God that we encounter in Christ Jesus, and overflowing love that serves our neighbor, the people to whom God has sent us, the people who God entrusts to our care. My friends, our whole life is to be prayer and love, and we commit ourselves again to God's purposes today.